motorbike wasn't love at first sight. I had to test it a couple of times until it grew on me. And I had to do some modifications that I really liked it. Because I'm very small, this is a very tall bike. So I got the lowering kit from Husqvarna, from KTM. You can lower it about 4 or 5 centimeters. And then it's still quite a tall motorbike for a small person. I am 164 centimeters tall, and now I'm okay. I can get down on my toes. It's not such a problem because it's quite a light bike, so it's easy to maneuver around even though it's high. And then I changed the front sprocket. There's a smaller one on it, one tooth less than normally, to give it more torque, because what this motorbike is made for, it's made for wheeling, and it should be very playful. It's not a cruiser. It's not fun if you have to go low speed. It's not comfortable. It's more of a toy. It's something for sports, I would say. Then I also changed the seat cover. The seat cover is now much more grippy, so I don't slide back. And then I have an airbox mounted in here that gives a little more oxygen to the engine, and then it gives more torque, and then you also can get some storage space here. I will link this below who I got this from. With this, it wheelies much easier, because that's exactly what you want to do with this motorbike. You want to wheelie. And also what's nice, just want to tip it into the turns really hard. Next, what I did, I loosened the suspension a lot. Stock, it's a quite stiff suspension, and then I loosened it up a lot. It's really easy to do. Here you can click, you can just adjust it anytime. And then on the bottom on this side here, you have 2 screws. Pretty simple to play with. It eats up tires quite fast, so it's definitely not the cheapest bike to have. If you want to have fun, you're pushing it to the limit, and then these go down really quick. I just noticed that this tire is already down again. Then I put on this protection here. It's just plastic, but it's if there's rocks coming from the front tire and they're slamming onto the motor, I think it's good to protect a little bit. It just looks a little bit more rounded off. What I've done, I've put on these here to protect the fork in case of a fall, and then also at the back just to protect this stuff. These are really cheap, but if you tip it once, you can really damage the bike. Then of course there's a shorter tail here. The original one is really long. The indicators are stock here in Europe. I don't know how that is in other countries, but here in Europe this is LED front and back. And of course the mirrors are also not stock. I can see with these well, and it's street legal. The whole bike is street legal this way. And what I didn't do, I didn't change the exhaust, because I don't think it's necessary. It gets quite hot, so there are certain, if you want to mount certain baggages, then it's just too hot and it'll melt your bags away. So that would be an idea to change the exhaust just for the heat. But for the sound, I don't want to make it too loud, because I don't think a loud bike is really good. I don't want to draw attention, and I don't want to annoy anyone. So for me, it's okay if it's not too loud. With the tank at the rear and then in the back, that's really nice for the center of gravity is very low, so you don't have a bulky tank at front. And then what's really nice is you can move around the seat without having a tank between your legs. I really like that. So there's plenty of space to move around, and on long rides that it's more comfortable. The seat is quite hard, so it's quite sporty, and it's a little bit the corner shape. Normally after 200 kilometers on quite twisty roads, I'm also done and I'm happy to get off the bike. The wind gets deflected quite well, but of course I would not want to use this for a touring bike or for longer traveling. For me, I have another motorbike for that. If I could only choose one motorbike, I guess it wouldn't be this one, because it's not the perfect all-rounder. It's quite sporty, it's a lot of fun, but it's not a touring bike in that sense. The engine is much too twitchy for that. For long rides, it's just much nicer to have a calmer engine. They can switch off traction control. One more thing that's really nice about this enduro type motorbike, the plastics are really cheap and if you drop it, not much stuff can break. Now, if you drop it on your side, you just pick it up again, and there's not like big damage. Just change the plastics or the handguards. Not a big deal, really. So there's nothing that I don't like about this motorbike. I think it's just purpose built. So it depends on which purpose I want to use it for. Talking about off-road capability, I guess because the suspension is quite stiff and the tire dimensions are not right, then you would have to mount some off-road tires. Even though it's an enduro in that sense, it's not made for off-road, and it also doesn't work very well off-road. It's better to get the enduro, and the enduro for me, even if it's lowered down, it's much too high still. So that's why it's no question that I would ever ride the 701 enduro. This has a quick shifter up and down, and I think it's one of the best on the market that I've tried. It's so clear and so well done. I use it all the time, really. I use the clutch to wheelie, and I've cut it off here because I think it's just much easier to clutch the bike up. Yes, it's possible to get it wheeling without clutching, but I just think it's easier that way. Even though it's only a single disc brake, this bike's phenomenal. This really is a very strong brake and perfect for this motorbike. Also the rear brake for sliding into the turns, which I don't do a lot because it eats up your tires, but if I like to do it, it's really easy to dose. Service interval is at 10,000 kilometers, but I changed the oil at about 6,000 now, because it is still a one-cylinder engine, and I think it likes fresh oil, so I just changed it. So far I have not had any problems whatsoever. It's just been running, and I have a little over 7,000 kilometers on it.